After the class ends, Linley directly calls out to Master Delin with the intention of training. He says, "Master, along with wind power, I want to completely master my second greatest strength, which is my earth element power." Master Delin agrees to this and says, "Go outside immediately and find some stone fragments for your cultivation practice." As soon as Linley went to pick up stones, he sees Delia practicing on her own in anger, as she was upset by the humiliation she faced in class today. The moment she spots Linley, she snaps at him saying, "Have you also come here to make fun of me?" Linley calms her down by saying just one line, "I have not come here to make fun of anyone. I just need to focus on my practice, and remember this much: respect is not given, it is earned." Saying this, Linley moves ahead. After this, Linley begins his earth element training. The beginning was painful and exhausting. He would repeatedly lose his control over the stones. But Linley's determination was ironclad. When morning came, he would learn wind element in the classroom, and once class let out, he would dive into his earth element training in the woods. Seeing this unmatched dedication of Linley, his 3 roommates would keep food and rest fully prepared for him. Linley carried out this personal training outside the academy under the open sky and on high mountains, so that he could master both wind and earth elements together. With the passage of time, his hard work bears fruit, and within a single year he learns to control the stones in the air very smoothly. Seeing his amazing progress, Master Delin proudly says, "Wow, Linley, you have reached level 2, are you not happy?" Linley takes a deep breath and says, "Master, I am happy, but it took me a whole year just to reach level 2, and that is why I am a bit worried." Linley had no idea that Teacher Trey was hiding behind the distant mountains, observing his every single activity. By now, he had also found out that Linley had reached level -2. One day, Teacher Trey comes straight to Linley and hands him the registration form for the semester tournament. Linley declines, saying, "Sir, I am absolutely not in the mood to participate in the tournament right now." Teacher Trey explains that whichever student tops this tournament gets a personal room in the academy. Hearing this, Linley directly asks, "Sir, just tell me one thing, do you get any money as prize money for winning this?" When the teacher says no, Linley takes his leave and walks away right from there, leaving the teacher watching him in utter amazement. Because the teacher had no idea about Linley's financial struggles. Before anyone knew it, the day of the grand semester tournament arrives, where Linley's friend George was acting as the anchor. George announces, "Today our very first fight is going to take place between young Master Rand and Leto." The arrogant Rand enters the ring and tells his opponent Leto, "Look, accept your defeat, otherwise it won't take me even a minute to blow you to pieces." Standing in the gallery, Yale says to Linley in annoyance, "Look at this trash Rand, he is an absolute arrogant jerk." Inside the ring, Rand mocks his opponent because he had achieved level 2 through hard training, and his pride was over the moon. He had no clue that Linley had become a level 2 magician a long time ago. Yale grabs Linley's hand and asks, "Tell me the truth, friend, have you also reached level 2 by any chance?" Linley smiles and says, "Yes, brother Yale, I have truly become a level 2 magician." Hearing this, Yale and Dustin cry out, "Brother, then you must participate in this tournament and give this kid Rand a proper beatdown." Linley says in a calm and serious tone, "Forgive me, brothers, but I have absolutely no interest in this tournament. I am leaving because I need to train for level 3. The disciples of the entire academy begin to gather in the arena of this year's first grand competition. At one end of this competition was Linley's roommate and 4th brother Reno, who belonged to the Fire Magic Academy department. The moment Reno steps into the arena, he brags with absolute overconfidence. "Today, I am going to shake up this entire field." The fans standing around were cheering loudly for him, and seeing this, Reno was completely thrilled. Today, in this first round, Reno was going to face a promising cultivator from the Water Academy named Leto. While on one hand the entire academy ground was echoing with the hustle and bustle of this competition, on the other hand our main character Linley was far away from all these things. Deeply immersed in cultivation in the solitude of the dense forests, he was constantly pushing his magical limits under the spiritual guidance of Master Delin. Master Delin, floating in the air, was explaining the deep philosophy of cultivation to Linley. "Look, Linley, when you achieved level 1, it was just a basic foundation of powers which was difficult to control. But now, when you have successfully reached the status of a level 2 magician, that magical energy and spiritual density within you has increased manifold, and you can control that energy with great ease, which was impossible at level 1. As your cultivation level increases, your magical waves will become increasingly stable and dense. But remember, my child, when you step forward to become a level 3 magician, the absolute biggest and primary role of your mental power will begin there. Your mental strength must be extremely powerful to reach level 3. Your mind control should be so solid that without even moving your finger, you can easily handle any heavy object or magical flow in the air using only your mental consciousness. On the other side, inside the competition arena, the tournament progresses, and now only 2 warriors remain undefeated in the 2 separate pools of this competition. On one side, Linley's roommate Reno was advancing toward the finals, while from the pool on the other side, the arrogant Rand was moving forward. Seeing their continuous streak of victories, the entire academy had already guessed that the final showdown would take place between these two. And exactly as expected, before long the scene of the grand finale arrives, where Reno with his firepower and Rand with his ice power stood face to face against each other. But instead of watching this grand battle of the academy, our focus shifts back to Linley, sitting amidst the woods, completely unbothered by these things and deeply absorbed in his earth element cultivation. Only one single thought was spinning through his mind, that he had very little time, and he could not put any more pressure on his father, Hog Baruch, for the academy fees. He tries to combine his mental waves upon the stone fragments, but in his rush to accelerate his cultivation speed, his energy becomes unstable, and all the stones come crashing down. Seeing Linley in such a hurry, Master Delin says gravely, "Linley, rushing into everything is not right, my child. If you forcefully push your energy like this, your body won't be able to bear the pressure." Linley catches his panting breath and says, "Master, I understand, but I have no other choice." Saying this, he closes his eyes once again and dives back into his cultivation practice. Now in the story, the scene shifts to some time later, where Linley's 3 friends were sitting inside their hostel room. Reno was slamming his hand on the table, bragging about his fights. "Brothers, in the finals, I will give that Rand such a crushing defeat that he will remember it forever." Seeing Reno praise himself like this, Yale says, "Look, brother, all your fights until now were against level 1 cultivators, but your final is going to be against that arrogant boy Rand, and word is that he has reached level 2, so just don't lose your head in all the excitement." Right then, the bedroom door opens softly, and Linley steps inside. Linley's face was completely downcast, and he was thoroughly exhausted physically. Without speaking to anyone, he collapses straight onto his mattress and says in a low, tired voice, "Reno, you have to become the champion in tomorrow's fight. You must win, my brother." Saying just this much, he falls fast asleep due to pure exhaustion. His 3 friends say to one another, "Since Linley's family's financial condition is not good, he is putting immense pressure on himself. We must do something for Linley, brothers. Together, the 3 of us need to arrange a way to get those valuable cultivation resources for him." The very next day, the entire final arena of the Ernst Academy was shaking with the massive roar of the audience. Today, the ultimate grand finale match was about to take place between Reno and that arrogant senior student Rand. George steps up on the stage and makes the final announcement over the mic. "So ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to find the ultimate champion of this semester who will claim this championship trophy as his own." Both contestants have already taken up their positions in the center of the arena. Reno clenches his fists and tells Rand, "Since your arrogant face is right in front of me today, I am going to beat you so mercilessly that you will land straight into a hospital bed right from this ring." Rand laughs out loud and says, "Keep your friends ready, because today I am going to send you back from here on a stretcher." As soon as the announcement to start the fight is made, both cultivators rush at each other with their absolute full power. Reno uses his fierce firepower to shoot massive fireballs through the air. On the other side, Rand begins blocking Reno's attacks by raising massive walls of ice in the air. The collision between the two causes a massive blast throughout the arena, and dense smoke spreads everywhere. Rand mocks him, saying, "Oh, so you have some small tricks up your sleeve. Let's see how long you can survive my strikes." And with his Heavenfire Meteor technique, he rains down blue ice balls on Reno, but Reno is no less agile. He quickly dodges those spheres and tries to launch a counterattack. He readies his punch and jumps straight at Rand, but the cunning Rand sets a trap by shifting his position backward, while simultaneously launching a surprise attack on Reno, who was trapped mid-air, making it absolutely impossible for Reno to escape. Rand launches dozens of sharp and piercing ice attacks back-to-back towards Reno. Seeing Reno in trouble, all his friends get worried because Rand was not showing any signs of stopping. Taking all the blows on his body, Reno begins to push his limits, and in this very effort, his level breakthroughs. Now Rand's attacks do not affect him at all because he had officially reached level 2. Seeing this, Rand is completely shocked. Now it was Reno's turn. With great swag he challenges Rand and says, "Now your game is over, fool!" With this he uses his Fire Element's Heaven Fire Meteor technique, but somehow Rand manages to escape. So Reno traps him inside his Earth Fire Bind formation. Rand's anger was over the moon, but his tricks do not work at all inside Reno's formation. He starts shouting in frustration, and the moment Reno readies his next strike, a helpless Rand surrenders. Reno did not want to forgive him, but seeing Rand begging, he lets him go. But as soon as Rand drops down, he changes his colors like a chameleon and launches his ice fire at Reno, throwing him far away. Not only this, Rand shows absolutely no mercy on Reno now. He traps Reno inside his ice tornado. Using his magical power, Rand starts slamming heavy ice blasts one after another onto Reno's helpless body. Reno screams in agonizing pain, and his condition continuously gets worse. Standing in the audience gallery, Yale and George get furious that this trash Rand is openly cheating. But until the match officially ends, no one from outside can interfere in between.